How far have you learned in lecture? What did Miss Wood or Dr. Raymond taught in class? Okay, JavaScript. And tomorrow will be your midterm exam, right? Okay, next Friday. Okay. Okay. So today we're just gonna cover some CSS and JavaScript. Very basic JavaScript since you already learned for this week's lecture, so won't be much of a problem. And today we are gonna learn about responsive navigation bar and how to do animated features using CSS. Okay, so I already uploaded the this week's slides. You can search at the file section, lab 5. Okay, I have some problem sharing the slides. So for now, can everyone have everyone downloaded the slide set? Okay, so after you download the lab 5 slides, you can open up. Let's just follow the slides together, okay? I can't share on my screen. That's a problem, but never mind. Since everybody has these slides, we can follow together. Okay. Okay. So in a responsive navbar, navigation bar, you need to at least have 3 elements, which is the HTML document, which is basically the structure of the page, CSS for the outlook of the page, and then JavaScript is for the responsive ability of the page. If you want to do a responsive navbar without JavaScript, you can. But JavaScript gives more, how to say, more options and more design or functions that allows user to experience. So I hope you remember how to do your navigation. Okay, so in the third slide, you can see that in your responsive navbar, that in the HTML doc. So if you remember how to do your navigation bar in the third slide, you see that like we did last time, we create a div, a div, like a container, if you remember, and then we list out the sections, so home, news, and contract. And then a new addition is what we call a drop down. Okay, so a drop down menu on the navbar is additional feature that allows user to hover on it, and there's an extra sub menu on that specific section. Okay, you see in the first 3A, we can see the reference to hashtag home, news, and contract. A contact. So it's similar what we did last time in our online resume. The hashtag is just basically a marker for each section, and then you see after the three A's, you see there is another container, div container, where we have the class drop down. Okay, and then we have a button, like say drop down. We give it a class. Remember, a class and a name is the same. A class and ID is just to give a specific name, so that specific button has that name. When we want to edit anything, it just specifically do that. And then in the drop down, you can see in the I, you see there's a class FA carried down. Okay, FA. Can anyone tell me what is FA means in HTML? Okay, you can look at the screen. I shared the text editor with the codes. So you look at the highlighted part in the opening I tag right below at the drop down button. That's FA caret down. Can anyone tell me what is FA? What is the use of FA? Yes, icon. The FA is a specific call function where we use to create an icon, which is available through HTML and CSS. It's basically pre-downloaded, and there are the library is quite large. There's a lot of already made icons for people to use, like the home icon, the back icon, next icon, save, cancel. All of that are the examples of an icon that is used by the FA rule. Okay, so you open with a FA and then FA slash caret slash down. So though that is a very specific function. So let's look on what does it mean. Okay, so here you can see that this is a very basic navbar, and you can see at the drop down button here. At first you don't see where's the icon and so forth, but the icons function is used for another situation where the menu is minimized. Okay, so what I mean by minimize is an example like this. You can see that here you can see the rest of the sections are closed, but when we put the menu here, you can see this is the drop down function. All right, this is technically not an icon, but the carrots down, this is what it's referring to, the drop down. Okay, so let's go back to the code. Okay, so after the carrot down, it ended as a button, and then you can see that we have created another container with the drop down content, link 1, link 2, link 3. So this is referring to the drop down menu just now, sub menu. After that, you can see we have about, and then you see this last part. This last part is referring to the JavaScript. It's very you see right after about, you see this JavaScript void. We have a specific style. We put a font size, and then the class is an icon, and the on click. Remember, on click is used for when you want to create a function. When click upon, and then you see my function, and then you see the number 9776. Yeah. Before we move on to the Java, let's look back at the slides. Okay, so everybody open your slides. Now let's go to the fourth slides. The third slide basically covers the thought nav. Since you already taught you guys and you learned in class and you already did the exercise, so top nav is not much of a problem. Okay, but why you want to create a window and you want to create a responsive? Just like I show you, when I minimize the Chrome into a smaller size, you can see that everything is moved. So the only home button is active, and there is a icon for the drop down menu. Okay, so in CSS, when you want to create something like that, we have this new rules called, not new, but used for specific reasons. So it's called the CSS Add Media Rule. If you look at some websites like let's say Facebook, your social media, when you open the application on your computer, on your tablet or your phone, you can see that the screen size is getting smaller, and then you can see the content is how to say, arranging itself to fit on the screen. So media only screen, you can see here in the slice, media only screen and max width 600, and the body, you can see that the background color light blue. This is an example. So when the screen is at a max width of 600, anything below, the background of the page will be light blue. That is what it meant. So media rule is applied different styles for different media types and devices. Like I say, computer, tablet, phone, and etc. Those are different types of media devices. And then CSS Media Rule, what it does actually, it adjusts the width and height of the viewport and the device and the orientation. So the tablet, landscape, portrait mode, and then the resolution. I think you guys have experience on some websites where it does not adjust to the mobile setting, so that the page looks very wide and you have to scroll side to side to get to the next page. So media rule is used for to handle that situation. Okay, and you look at the second row. It's screen. Screen is used for computer screens, tablets, smartphone, etc. So this is a type of application. So here in the media rule, we only want to change the screen. So we are only adding this rule to the screen so that it changes the size, like I said before. There are other types you can search for, like resolution, or maybe the audio, or and etc. Something like that. And then you see max width. This is also a parameter where what do you want to have as a parameter in the media rule. So example, in this case is a max width, so the maximum width of the display area, such as the browser window. So we set as a 600 px, so that is the maximum width of the media screen that is allowed. Okay, never mind. Then I will show you in the CSS file, because later on I want you guys to do this. Okay, after that CSS file, this is the only thing that you need to know. Everything else is what you learn in navigation bar from previous lessons. It's basically the same. So let's go to the next slide, slide 5. We have for the JavaScript. So in the JavaScript, you can see that we have this code, like I say in the HTML, that varies one line. You can see that in href, you say JavaScript void 0, then the style font, the class, and on click, and it's called my function. Okay, so why do we have to link or reference the icon to JavaScript void 0? So void 0 means that evaluates the given expression and then returns undefined. We need to create an undefined because when we want to return the value in JavaScript, especially in terms of href, if you give that a value, it will go to the specific blank page. But with void 0, basically the value of undefined, we are basically redirecting the value that is on the same page. So it's not moving anywhere. So that when the icon, when the click function, it just remain at the same page. See, and you can see that redirect the browser to a plain text version of the result of evaluating that JavaScript. So putting the void 0 assists us in helping the interaction remain at the same page. Okay, and then you can look at the string right before the ending a tag. You can see that that is the symbol and hashtag 9776. Okay, so I left a comment there. You can click on that, and that is a link. You can search that later on. Basically, this number is like your number tag for colors. 9776 is referring to a specific icon that is used for the minimize of the navbar. So this 976 is the three dash lines that you commonly see on mobile phones. And there are other icons you can use as well, up to you. And this is just an example of how to use it to accommodate the minimize window. And that in the JavaScript itself, in JavaScript, this is the my function that is referred to the HTML doc in the onClick function. Okay, since you guys already learned JavaScript, so this is not much to explain, but just to clear out. So you can see the function, we create the right function and we give it a name, my function. Variable x equals the document dot get element by id top nav. So document dot get element id. So what does it mean? Is it returns an element object representing the element whose id property matches the specific string. So we are referring to the document. So in the document, we are referring to the HTML document, and we are trying to get an ID, an element within the ID. So my top nav is the name of the navigation bar container. So we are retrieving the element from this ID. Okay, and in this ID, we have an if statement after that. So x dot class name. So class name is referring to guess the sets and the value of the class attribute of the specific element. Okay, and then you can see there's three equal signs. And what does three equal signs represent is that equal value and equal type. What it's referring to is that if the class name is same as what it is, like the string, then that is true. Okay, so why class name? Class name is basically it's just an additional point where it's just referring to the class. So remember in our HTML docs, you can refer back to slide 3. You can see that in our class, in the div container, our class is called top nav. So if x is referring to the top nav, my top nav ID is the ID of the class is the same as top nav, then the class name is responsive. Else, if not, then the class name is just referring to top nav with no additional action. All right. So far, can everybody follow? Is there any questions you want to ask before we move? I hope you guys understand, because later on I want you guys to write the code for the responsive features later on for your top nav. Once that's done, that is the only part you need to write in your JavaScript. Now let's move to slide number 6. Slide number 6 is referring to the CSS animation. So once we are done with the top nav, this is another topic that I want to teach, is the animation using CSS. Okay, so in the CSS file, you can see that there is a new rule. It's called keyframe. Keyframes are referring to the animation will gradually change from the current style to the new style at certain times. So let's look at an example, like I said in the website just now. Okay, so everyone look at the screen I shared. Do you see the box that is moving? You can see that it is changing colors. All right, and this is the keyframe rule, allowing the object to change color from a specific time to a specific time. Okay, in keyframe rules, usually they have setting like from and to. So from which point this object change color to which point does the object change color, and so forth. So look back at the slides in slide number 6. You can see that other than using from and to, we use percent. So percent is another function or another method for allowing the object to move one point to another point and allow it to change color. Okay, so you see in 0% the background color is 0. And remember, left and top is referring to the padding, the margin, sorry, the margin. So we can see that at left 0 px and top 0 px, it remains at a stationary point. Then at 25%, it changes to yellow when it moves to 1300 px to the left. Then in 50%, from the left to the top, it went down and changed to blue, and then 75% go to green, then back to red. So this formula is moving in a square formation. You can change shape if you want, but a box seems the most basic item to use. For example, and here the CSS animation. So this is another style sheet that you use for the box. So basically, we find the height and the width, and then we give a background color, the initial color. Position is relative, remember, and then the animation name is just called example. So the other remaining animation duration all the way to timing function, those are the functions or the name or terms that is used for the object to move. So the duration 4 seconds is referring to how long does it take for the object to complete its circuit. Meaning the circuit means the entire lap. So it takes about 4 seconds. Delay is referring to how long does it need to wait before it initiates its movement. And then in iteration count, you can see iteration count, it means how many times does it need to perform the action. So for example, this is infinite. You can put values like 1, 2, 3, but infinite, it just continues on doing it. Okay, direction, it means where does the object need to go. So alternate is basically changing from from forth to back, and then forth to back as well, then back to forth. If you put reverse, you just go from back to forth and back to forth, reverse. If you put alternate reverse, then it goes from, like I say, just back to forth and forth to back. If you don't want any, you just want to make it in one direction, you just remove the animation direction. And the last part is the animation timing function. So timing function, I left a comment there, you can go and check the link. Is the timing for the object to reach one point to the other point. So for example, at 0%, the box is red, but it wants to move to 0.25%. So the timing function, there's so many kinds. Either it's linear, meaning that the speed is just normal in a linear form, or is it an ease in or ease out, which is a different timing function. But all of this, even though the timing is different, the duration of the action still remains 4 seconds. All right. So see the lessons ended in 40 minutes. So right now, I want you guys to create a product or a page that is resembling to the screen that I show right now. Right? In the screen show right now, when I close it, there is a drop down menu where it's responsive. You see like this, and an animated box. Okay, so I'm gonna give you time to perform these actions. If you have any problem, you can ask. Right, and remember, in our the online resume session where we create external style sheets, please do so. Use that method because it's easier to manage. I will show you a part of the code that I did, and then later on you can see the structure of everything is needed to be done. Okay, so here you can see it's very simple. The top nav part is already available in the slides. You can use that. Remember, in the head section we have this tree link relation style sheets, and then make sure that you name reference is referred to the name of the style sheet that you name yourself, and make sure that all these documents are within the same folder. And then you see in the last part script. Okay, so when you want to refer to a JavaScript, you cannot use link. You have to write script because that is the term used to read the JavaScript. So use src let5. For my case, it's src equals to let5.jas. That's it. And then once you're done with your nav, I create another container with the box action. So in the container, I just name it box, and the padding I just put 16 plus 16 packs for this for the those of aesthetics, and just put the name animated box. Yes, the top nav might have a lot of adjustment, but remember the ones that I taught you in your resume. You can refer to that. The only difference, like I said, is the media screen. Okay, so maybe I will let you I will let this page be available for media screen. I want you to see a code. If you have any question, you can ask me. Later on, you can do for the box. Like I said, the box animation is the same as what I put on the slides. So in the box dot box, you can see I put the animation as well as the keyframes example for the box movement. The H2 is just for the text. You can do that by yourself. And the JavaScript, remember, it's a separate file, .js, and this you just put it there. So when later on you just link it up and play around it. Alright? So I'll give you guys maybe half an hour and see how you guys do it. Alright? If any questions, you can ask. Has anybody completed yet? Is there any problem you're facing? Okay, 10 more minutes. Then I want to see everybody's progress. Is everyone finished? Okay, everyone. So, has anyone completed the task yet? Okay. Carmen Su, can I see your screen, please?
So this is my code, and this one is my end product, but my animation cannot run for some reason.
Okay, can I see?
Wait. Check. Okay. This is the one. This one okay. Just that like the animation thing. I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Nur Umira binti Adarun ya. Tolong kongsikan screen.
Saya belum siap part yang saya tu masih nak buat.
Okay, tahu tahu. Animation bergerak. Sudah dapat.
Anda dapat.
Okay, tak apa.
Okay.
Rubin, can you show your screen, please?
I'm still having problem with my coding.
Never mind. Just show me what you've done so far.
But the thing is, when I couldn't do the animation yet.
The animation, what, doesn't move?
No, I think I having like the problem. The browser like it's not even showing up the animation, the box.
Oh, the box is not present. Okay.
Yeah, I will figure it out.
All right, right.
Sorry.
Nurin Jazlina, tolong kongsikan screen. Tak apa, kongsi apa yang dah buat dah. Okay, Nurin, boleh kongsikan screen? Oh. Tak nampak. Blank tadi kok.
Saya nampak tak, sir?
Tak.
Still tak nampak ada. Siap. This one, nampak tak?
Tak.
Yo, wait.
Okay, tak apa Nurin, kita pergi orang lain. I know Shafinas.
Ya, sir.
Ya, boleh kongsikan skrin.
Boleh saya tunjuk mana yang saya sempat buat. Saya sempat buat yang HTML, CSS dengan yang JavaScript. Yang satu lagi yang ini, satu yang JavaScript. JavaScript dia beri setengah-setengah kali. Dia sempat buat. Saya nampak tak?
Nampak.
Yang satu lagi belum saya sempat buat yang CSS yang pun punya tu. Saya so far belum function really well lah.
Okay, tak apa.
Okay.
Terima kasih.
Thank you, sir.
Alright. Mark Wong, G-Kit, can you show me your work, please?
Nampak apa, sir?
Okay. I can see the product.
Ini ya.
Open the HTML file in your internet browser. Open live server. Yang tu. Okay. Open your internet browser. Guna Chrome ke Fox ke, buka tu dulu. Open your Google Chrome or your default internet browser.
kan?
Atas open live server.
Live server.
Okay, lepas tu buka Google Chrome.
Yep. Yang mana?
Google Chrome, Google. Your internet browser.
Yang ni.
Google kan? Your search internet tu. Dia bukan kat Microsoft Visual Studio because bila nak buka live server, dia akan pop up kat Google Chrome. So check kat Google Chrome atau your default internet browser. Tak faham tak?
Tak faham masa.
Faham, okey, tak apa. Okey, ini tutupkan yang ni sekejap. Yang bukan tu, yang tutup yang bar kecil tu. Yang tu, tekan tu. Okay, tak apa. Terima kasih, Mark. Lim Yu King, can you show your screen, please?
So actually I couldn't display the animation.
You can display the animation.
I cannot.
Okay. Can I see your JavaScript for a while? Okay. Okay, your CSS. Okay. Okay, back to your HTML for a while.
Sorry?
Back to your HTML.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so for the reason why you don't have the box is because you did not create a container for the box to display.
Oh, okay. It's like this is the container. So I didn't create the container which is for the boxes for the style sheet one. Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, get it.
Okay, thank you.
How to?
Abang Amir, tolong kongsikan skrin. Tak apa, kongsikan. Nak tengok. Okay, Nur Fatin, tolong kongsikan skrin. Okay, kita tinggal we have about 10 minutes left, so let's review back on the code. So the HTML file, remember, is very straightforward. It's already on the slides. All additional is to put 3 links here. And remember that the box is its own container. This way it does not mix up with the navigation. Okay, the bottom one here is just a additional thing I just put just now. It's another container. I just could move tags, and I just put in this 2 additional style sheet functions in the style sheet, but everything else is the same. So let's look at the page. So you can see here, you can see the box is moving, the text is moving, and everything else. But what makes the difference is the size. The size of the screen matters because this is what we want to discover in responsive Navbar. Everything else is the same. We can see that it responds to the height of the navigation bar as well. You can see the text is moved below the boxes as well. So this is what we want to get. All right. Okay, so you can see that a lot of people are having problems with this task. It's okay. I will leave the my example on the file section later on for you to review and practice. And if you have any questions, you can message me through WhatsApp if you want, or email. And is there any questions or any part that you don't understand? Yeah, I will share the code later. Okay. So make sure you practice everything. So if there's no further questions, then I will end the session for today. So to those who have not keyed in their attendance, you can do it now.
Sir, can I ask about one thing about the link for the JavaScript?
About what?
The link, the linking site for linking the JavaScript to with the HTML, that part.
Oh, that part.
Why sometimes we need to use the .js? Then why is it sometimes, like in this case, we are not using it?
We're not using the .js
Yeah.
for linking the JavaScript.
Yeah.
You need to put the .js because the .js is the name of the file.
Okay, but in a script, I mean in the coding that you present just now, there is no .js presented in it.
There is.
There is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then my mistake. Sorry.
Alright,
Okay.
okay. Oi. Cuba balik boleh. Okay.